Hi teachers. The reason I'm creating this video is so that you get some ideas as we enter week 3 of distance learning. So this week I know we received our weekly learning guides, which look like this. And so something that I really wanted to go over was how we can take this weekly guide and use it to create our assignments. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because there's many parents that are being overwhelmed because these are being posted on Google Classroom. And so I wanted to give you some tips or maybe ideas for you to use in these next 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my Google Classroom that I used for a training, which will be coming up also next week. And I will let you know as soon as I have that ready. Okay, so right now I am in my classwork tab, and this Google Classroom is actually both mine and Jermaine's. And we've already created a few topics just to give teachers examples of what they could look like. So you can base them on content, or if you see right here, my week 1 and week 2, you can add your topics in that fashion as well. We also created a past assignments topic, and the reason we did that is because if you want to organize your Google Classroom assignments and you don't want all the assignments hanging up or, uh, yeah, hanging out just up here. If it's a little overwhelming, you can create a topic that's called past assignments, and then you can just drag some of those assignments there once students have completed them. You don't want to delete them because, again, if you delete an assignment, then it gets rid of any feedback that you've offered or grades or just students' completed work. Anyhow, so I'm going to show you an example of something that I did. I took the 4th grade distance learning weekly guide, and I went over here off to the side and I looked at math. So I said, okay, so this week my students really need to work on identifying acute, right, and obtuse angles. Okay, they also need to classify them. So I did notice that there was a brain pop video. Okay, there's a triangles video, which is really an MP4 of a Pearson lesson video. There's the greedy triangle video, which is actually a book. So that's a read aloud that kind of ties in that concept or that topic with our learning target. And then there's an option for ST Math. Now, I already know what my learning target is, which is part of my TEAC. What I did was I created an assignment here and I titled it under math, the greedy triangle. So I didn't necessarily link my weekly plan because you know that there's many issues going on with that, or they are asking to request access. So what I did instead, let me go ahead and click on this. And this would just be one tip and an idea. There's many ways to take that weekly plan, but this is one that I want you guys to consider. I titled it the Greedy Triangle. I gave my instructions and I told students, please watch the triangles video and think about how you can identify two-dimensional triangles. So here is the video. Now, I had already seen this video beforehand, and I felt like that one really went over the lesson and what I wanted my students to know. Okay. I threw in the greedy triangle because it's a nice read aloud, kind of fun for kids. And some parents may want their child to kind of listen to something else. So I threw that one in there, but I did state on here that the YouTube video titled The Greedy Triangle is optional. In other words, I don't think my students need to necessarily listen to that story to be able to complete the assignment. But I mean, if they're bored at home, they're going to want to listen to it. Okay. And then even though this right here is their actual assignment, that was not part of my weekly plan over here. The weekly plan only gave me ST Math as an assignment. I, as a teacher, went ahead and found an image. Let me go ahead and wait for that to come up. I actually, and I'm not sure where I got this from. It might have been Teachers Pay Teacher. Maybe I just Googled something on identifying and classifying triangles. I pulled up something that was like a station activity. And all I did was I took my snipping tool, which is right down here. Okay, everybody has that snipping tool. You might have to search for it on the side. If you click snipping tool, here it is. And what I did was I almost did like a screenshot of a PDF. I captured that image and then I dropped it onto a Google slide. And so the next thing that I did was I added text boxes because I want students to be able to identify and classify these triangles, again, using the sides and using angles. Okay, so each of these will have two different names. And so now I'm going to go ahead and X out of that. And so now, as you see, my students have a lesson, and the video is probably not even 2 minutes long. So I have that I saved in my drive. Sorry. Okay. And then they have this video that is optional, a YouTube video. But then this right here is the assignment that they are going to complete, which is my Google Slide assignment. And of course, I labeled it. Each student will get a copy. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save that, because these are just things that I really want you to think about. How do we take this weekly plan and make it our own? Now, remember, students don't have to be completing all of these. These are resources. Again, you are asked to have students complete one or two. Again, for the reading, if I see that this is a PDF, which is titled, I believe, trash something. Let me go ahead and show you what I did with that PDF. And excuse me, it's a little slow right now. What I did was I created a question for students, which is right here. And here is my PDF. It was an informational text on trashing paradise. And my learning target was for students to be able to, let's go back, make connections to personal experiences, ideas, and other texts and society. And so what I did was I went ahead and I created a question. Let's go ahead and view it. And I am asking students to read. And then what connections did you make after reading that PDF, which was Trashing Paradise? So again, this was created just as a question. Now there's different options to go about that assignment, because when you create a question, you can, here we go. Let me go ahead and click on edit so that you can see your options. I wanted my fourth graders to collaborate. Okay. I gave them the question. I told them to read the informational text, but then since, they don't have much time to collaborate right now, I'm wanting them to do that with this question. So I asked them to respond to one student using these sentence stems or your own. So I really like your answer because, I agree with you because, or that is different from my connection because, blah, blah, blah. That is where they get to answer. Okay. And so they have this option right here. They're going to have a short answer. This is where I added my options. Students can reply to each other. Or if I don't want that, then I uncheck it. Now, the only thing is if you are using the question assignment, then just keep in mind that students will be able to see each other's answer. Even if you unselect, students can reply to each other. That's just part of the way this is done in Google Classroom. Anyhow, I don't want to take too much of your time. If you have any other questions or if you are needing any other ideas as to how to create some really engaging lessons for, um, your students in the next few weeks using these learning weekly guides, don't forget to reach out to me and just be patient if I take a while to respond, but I will get to you. Bye.